Castles feel like one of the oldest things in the whole wide world, but they're actually not. Do you know when the first castle was built? You might be surprised to learn when. We've only actually had castles around for just over 1,000 years, and the first one, surprisingly, wasn't created in England, but in France. Doué-la-Fontaine was the first stone-built castle in around 950 AD. Before that, they had citadels, they had fortified towns, they had hill forts and burhs, but we had not had the standard castle as we know it today. This format came from the French and it exploded across Britain in 1066 when the Norman invasion rolled through and the French took over. Of course the French would be brilliant at building buildings. They came in with their motte-and-bailey castle structure. So the motte is an earthen mound built up, and then the bailey is a square castle built on top. Motte-and-bailey. Initially, the mottes and the baileys with the tower and the fence around them were thrown up in just a few weeks. They were considered kind of the McDonald's of castle building by the locals, and they could do this because they were made of wood. But let's be honest, over time, especially in the lovely climates we have in Britain, the wood rots. And so they were replaced with stone. Doué-la-Fontaine was actually the first properly stone-built castle. And it was created because the guy who owned it fell out with his neighbours. And so he fortified, basically, his house to keep them out. As I say, after the Normans rolled in 1066, they threw up over 500 castles around Britain, many of which are still there today, in just a few years. In fact, in 1067, they were already building the first stone castle, which is Chepstow in Monmouth. And in just 1070, William starts building Windsor Castle, which if you've watched my videos, you will know already is the longest inhabited continually castle in the whole world. 1072 now, inhabited by lots of British royals. And another fun fact for you. So I've mentioned citadels. Do you know what a citadel is? Well, it's more kind of a fortified city area. The longest, oldest one of those is in Aleppo in Syria, 3000 BC. So that's basically 4,000 years between developing fortified towns, citadels, which are very castle-like, and actually the creation of real castles. That shows that we were very slow to catch on to that idea, weren't we? So there you have it. The very first castles were McDonald style, made of wood, rotted easily, burnt easily, but went up in just a couple of weeks. And the French are responsible for them, called motte-and-baileys. The best that were ever created were all then converted into stone. Which would be your favourite castle to visit in the UK or around the world? For me, even though it's not really a castle, I'm going to have to say the Alhambra in Granada, which is very fortified and castle-ish. For more histories and mysteries, please subscribe to the channel. Give me a like. Support from people like you makes a world of difference to new creators like me. Thanks.